All right, guys, welcome. Happy to have you here. If you're watching this, the replay on YouTube, you're in for an awesome episode here. Got Alex Fedotoff, one of the big dogs in the e-com space. I've been in his program for a few months after my dropshipping buddies that I saw getting leaps and bounds ahead of me nudged me. And I kept saying, what are you doing, man? What are you guys doing? They were like, dude, join Alex's program. Just a network worth it. So I jumped in, made some great connections. Alex and I connected over a few things with like the bands and stuff, and here we are. So why don't you introduce yourself, man? I'm sure a lot of people in here know who you are, but I think a proper introduction is always best done by the guest.
Sure. Thank you so much for having me, John. I'm Alex Fedotoff. So I'm an e-commerce entrepreneur. We run e-commerce projects, like dropshipping, some of them still dropshipping, and we're also acquiring and investing in e-commerce brands. For dropshipping part, we're in like health and beauty space for the most part. We're acquiring brands in like jewelry, apparel, and print on demand spaces. And we also have this community through which we connected, which is called E-commerce Scaling Secrets (ESS), which has probably some of the best people in e-commerce space right now. And I'm very excited to have met you as well. Learned a lot from you as well. And thank you for those introductions you sent me. It's been an amazing experience.
No worries, man. How'd you get started? I know the story, but I want to hear it from you, and I'm sure everyone else does too.
Sure, man. So so I'm from Ukraine. Like it's a very poor country somewhere in Europe, and it's not very it was not very fun to live there. I graduated, didn't know what to do. I tried different jobs, like selling cookies. I wasn't good at it though. At salaries like $100 a month, and work in the factory, and trying different things, and just couldn't find myself in anything. And so, but I don't know, man. I always talk about this moment when I was working in factory. That was very kind of like profound moment for me. It was like I was working in a factory. We were making these things for we're making cups, but from it's called clay, right? So it's like red. It's like fucking dirt, pretty much like in dirt. And so it's like every day, you're face covered in dirt, and you just it's pretty bad, And then I was for me, the dream was fuck, if I could just work from the office, from the clean space. I don't want anything else, I didn't want anything else at that point, just working in a clean space. So maybe fucking having properly dressed, not being dirt, my hands in dirt all day long. And so that was my dream at that point. And so I'm working home, and one day I was working 12 hours a day, 5-6 days a week, $2 per hour. So I was making good money there. And and so balling, man. And so I'm walking home, and I'm having my clothes with me, right? And they're very dirty. So because they're it's dirt, so you gotta wash it, right? And then you have dirt everywhere. You had dirt here, you have dirt in your ears, everywhere. So it's it was a lot of fun, man. So I'm walking home, and I have this the clothing in my bag, and I'm walking and I have this sensation inside of me, man. I don't want to go to that. I don't want to go back to that job tomorrow. I don't want to lay like this. What's the fucking point? And I had this and I'm fuck. I'm taking all those things, and I'm just throwing them in a garbage can. I have a video recorded, but it was I had an old phone. I couldn't afford an iPhone or something, so it was an old phone, and then I lost that phone. But it would be a very nice video to watch right now, which I think is good lessons. Whatever challenges anyone's going through right now, document that shit, because in a few years you might be laughing, and it would be good reason to laugh. But I'd thrown all of those things away, and and I'll do something different, and I don't know what, I don't know how, I don't know, where, but I'll do something different. And I called the guy and said, I'm sorry, thank you for everything, but I won't be showing up for work tomorrow. So that's pretty much how it started.
On the spot, you quit, right then and there?
Yeah. I just I don't know, man. It was I think it was boiling inside of me, this dissatisfaction, which I think is it's kind of people do things out of pain or pleasure. I think that reflects everything, how we sell stuff even, right? You want to sometimes health and beauty products, you sell okay, pain, right? Being overweight and all these kind of on ClickBank, the best performing products that kind of scare the shit out of you. So then you buy the product out of fear. So it's either fear of pain, or you want to gain the pleasure, right? So all of the Instagram influencers, good looking, you want to be like them, with that pleasure, or it's kind of something that you don't like, something you didn't want, right? And so marketing 101. And so I did it to myself. So so that's how it started. I started as a freelancer on Elance. It was it's Upwork now, but before it was Elance. They renamed the platform.
Do you still have do you still have your profile you can pull up? That'd be awesome.
did they show it to you or no?
No.
Man, that's so funny, right? Because I want to show you, and they're just I think there's few lessons even in that profile, because I was watching. I haven't looked at it for a few years now. But so I started as a freelancer, pretty much doing anything. I was a VA. I'll show you my VA position. I show you how much I got paid. I'll show you everything, man. So full transparency here. So I had that. And so let me see. Let me pull it up. As good as it has been, I'm telling you, this stuff is so it's so good to have these things kind of let's see here. So I started pretty much doing whatever anyone could pay me for, I would do it.
You zoom in a little bit.
Yeah, one sec. Yeah. Where is that?
Oh, that's wild. This is
my job.
Cool.
Yeah, my jobs. View all contracts.
Have you ever when you're doing a presentation or speaking, have you ever pulled this up as a picture? That'd be a great picture.
Actually, man, we're working on some very, very exciting offer, because we in our company, we are here. Let's start from the bottom.
Oh my God, that's so cool. Look,
$20. Yeah, 2015, $20 per hour, $200 budget. I had this guy. That was a good client. And so here, and then hold on. I want to show you something, right? So I was a VA, $10 per hour, $20 per hour. I managed 25, but I think even this, I was barely speaking English at that point, and I was doing it from Poland. I was not even in the United States, and I think this guy here, man. Oh, let me just zoom it in. I think this guy here, God bless him, he introduced me to a Facebook advertising, because he just guided me. He got his own BM shut down back then. I didn't know how to use that was my first experience with business managers, man. This guy introduced me to he had this he had kind of the agency where he was doing lead generation for gyms or something, and he got his BM shut down. So he guided me through his screen how to create a BM. So until this day, I have the BM with his information, because that's what he initially he guided me to do. And so and so I guess that was my first introduction to the Facebook advertising. So I was getting all of these little projects
7 years ago, almost to this date, right there.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And so I was doing like this, then like conversion rate optimization. I said, okay, I'll be conversion rate optimization. I'll help people with conversions, and then I'll do Google. And then I tried all sort of stuff, Google. And then, so here I was like a VA, then like $5 budget. And then like at this point, you can see $10 per hour, right? But then I was getting like, sometimes I would get clients, they wouldn't pay me. And like, I would just like, oh man, it's like, it's not good, So I just like,
how's this make you feel looking back on this right now?
oh man, like it's interesting. You know what it kind of like, I think it reminds me that I think that it's good to kind of like think about this sometimes, because like now you think about everything that would like whatever challenges you overcome, like, if you look at your life, whatever challenges you have overcome, I think like if you reflect on that, fuck, I mean, you just think like, whatever challenges come your way, you'll fucking overcome them. You'll eat them for fucking breakfast. Because if you have been able to overcome those things, it kind of like gives you the perspective. I think it's valuable from that standpoint. So here I was doing like $10 per hour, and then I just decided, no, I don't want to do it. Like the same moment, man. I don't want to work with these clients that pay low, that don't pay. Like sometimes, I'll do the work and then they wouldn't pay. And like, it's just kind of like, like these people that are looking for like the cheapest option possible, it wasn't working well. And I just decided to like increase my price, like, per hour. Like I just like pretty much like, so $10 per hour, $100 per hour.
So to look back at the environment you grew up in, not a lot of money going around.
Yeah.
At that point, were your people in your circle, any of your friends, anyone you were close with, were they on the same mindset and on the same trajectory?
No, I had to cut everyone. Like everyone, like I had to cut, man. Like was not good impact, So I think if your environment is not like good, like just cut it. Like if you feel it's like dragging you down, or like makes you do or think about things that don't matter, like like just kind of like not in the same like direction that you're going, like just cut it then. Yeah, that's what I did, at least. I think that's
have those people you grew up with seen you now and started on that same path or on a similar path, or have you been that person now that gives them that motivation to do something different, whether it be e-commerce or whatever, selling insurance, doesn't matter. Better than themselves.
I think it didn't. I think a lot of people have egos, right? Like, hey, I know. Oh, I mean, this fucking guy, like how, like he couldn't be doing this. You know what I mean? Like people have this, like people let that get in the way. I think people that are grocery rank, like I mean, for me, for example, like I think everyone has it. Like it's kind of like this jealousy, kind of like competitiveness. Like it's not even competitiveness is good, Like I mean, you want to like be better than someone actually doing something for it, but it's like, I don't know. I've had this like where, yeah, I had a friend and like he was, and we kind of like had similar point of view, but like I didn't have like good impact from him, so pretty much we stopped communicating, and then I see him like a few years after, and he's pretty much in a very similar spot where he was. But I remember the conversations we've had. Okay, I was talking about like this opportunity, or I was talking about that opportunity, right? And he was like always like kind of like disregarding. Oh, it's like this one is hard, like for example, or this one doesn't make any sense, or Whereas for me, I was like, fuck it, I'll just do it. Like I think those type of people that like, let's say you share like a business idea and you want to try it, and they tell you, why would you do it? Like, I mean, you have good like job, or you're making good money already. Why would you do it? Like those people, like, I mean, they're like, especially if they're close, it could be like very dangerous, man.
Yeah. So where'd you go from here? So you were doing contract work.
So these, 100. I had these projects. These guys actually, these are very like some of these people are quite like well known right now. I mean, they also progress like with their businesses very well. You know, kind of like you're observing someone fast, like as someone kind of like going through the over the years. So they build some of these people built pretty nice business. One of the guys actually, I had one of the projects with the guys who is just yesterday. I've seen like one crypto project, that is like $500 million in market cap, and I see the name of the founder, and I see that's a guy. I was doing like the Facebook and Google ads for him like 2016. It's pretty interesting, like
Wow, man.
the
It's
evolution
crazy.
some people have. But it's interesting. I remember that same man. We had a project. It's also another like great story. Like, I was doing like Google ads. I was strategizing. Okay, see, here's how we'll advertise. They wanted to introduce like a in Switzerland, like they wanted to introduce like a taxi service similar to Uber because the taxi is not very efficient in Zurich, in other big cities in Switzerland. So they want to introduce that. And so he came, okay, we need a marketing plan to kind of like grow this business. I'm saying, okay, cool. So, so I created the marketing plan. I put a lot of work in. And one day he calls me like, Alex, how much do we owe you? Like I said, whatever, like $1,000, $2,000, whatever that was, like, few dollars. So, so send me an invoice. We'll get it sorted. We're shutting down the project. I'm like, okay. I mean, that looks like an interesting project, promising project. Said Alex, fuck this shit. Blockchain, blockchain is where it's at. Crypto is where it's at, man. It's 2016. I should have listened. I should have said like, man, like, do like, okay, fuck it. I'll dropping it. I mean, I was not in that position. I had to feed my family, right? But the guys, he launched like collectively the project he's launched. They have like he launched 3 successful projects. It's like $1 billion market cap as of now, and I think this is just the starting point.
Yeah, it's crazy stuff, man. Drop shipping e-commerce was huge. Like I started in e-commerce in 2017. 2018 drop shipping. You got in around what, 2016, 2017?
Yeah, around that 20. I think 2017. We launched the first store where one of the clients was like doing the like drop shipping model, and I was like, geez, I know where to buy the products, I know where to sell them, I know how to sell them, and we're just like, okay, we just replicated like what we have seen. And that was like free plus shipping. Remember those offer watches?
Yeah.
That's so like, those are like, so like, I mean, somehow metrics work. Like I remember like $5, $8 cost per purchase, and you have like $20, like because people would get like on average 1.5 2 watches. So somehow metrics work. Like, with free plus shipping offers.
It's wild, man. But it has that same kind of feel as like crypto has now. There's so much new thing just booming and popping up.
This is it. I think that's it. It
goes back to what you're saying with like seeing the opportunity, not just shooting something down, like not just it's not going to work because of this. Like crypto, there are ways to make a lot of money. You just got to take risks and look for it, right?
I was listening to like to some people like last year, and they're talking about crypto, and they're talking about like Ethereum and like Bitcoin is like, and and I just whatever, it's just it's like whatever, you just disregard it, like you sound, this is like what the fuck, it's like some fugazi, right? But then like you reflect like you know what I mean, like Ethereum like 2020 was like $400.
I remember I sold all of mine.
And so like this friend, man, like literally this friend I had, he was like 2013, right? And I had some savings, and he tells me, oh, there's this like thing called Bitcoin and you should buy some, right? I said, what? I mean, 20, 100, no, man, come on. Like, oh, it's too much. You know what I mean? Like, because I think the, how it's called, ignorance, right, is the worst fucking thing. If you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And that is costing you more than, like, if you're thinking mastermind costs like 30,000 and it's expensive not to be in the mastermind. That's probably my biggest lesson, man. I think that's it. You know, we can finish.
Video's done, guys.
But I mean, no, seriously.
Let me add to that one thing. So I know a lot of guys in ESS, they do European niche markets, which is not as easy hotcakes as it was 2 years ago, right? Let alone a year ago. Marek and some of these other guys who pushed me to join the program, they're like, dude, why are you selling the US? You're wasting your time. I was like, oh, I got to get payment processors that aren't like PayPal and credit card. That's so difficult. What's Klarna? And now I'm like, well, I got in finally like over the summer and it's still good money. There's still a lot of opportunity in those markets, but it's not what it was a year or two ago because I was like, it's the same thing like Bitcoin. If only we all knew how good it would be today, we would have done it 2 years ago. And you don't like, that's the hard part, right?
I think you don't know, right? Like, and yeah, for sure. And it's like, and I mean, you got to be like, I think that's, yes, it's such a profound thing, man. Like that. I mean, timing is crucial, right? Like, so, I mean, that guy I worked for like 2016, if, you know, he started to be like in blockchain, like understanding everything, you know, I don't know, maybe he was, he would tell me like, oh, you're like from Ukraine. Yeah. So yeah. And he said, man, your country is the best, you know. I said, why is that? You know, he said like some of the biggest like operations for mining Bitcoin are actually in Ukraine, like some fucking basements, like big fucking factories. I don't know. He told me that. I don't know how fucking true is that. I said like how, like fucking the technology. He said that the technology like it is happening like in Ukraine. I didn't know, and I didn't know what I didn't know. Right? Again, should have like said, man, hire me, whatever. Like I'll fucking. You know, wash the floor, you know, I'll do whatever, like hire me, like I want to, and yeah, man, I don't know. I think that's, but you know, sometimes it's like, indeed, like Fugazi, you know, sometimes not like, if in our country, they say like, if you would have known like where you'd fall, you would just put something soft in that place.
No one can. So if you were to be the version of you from 2015 today, what would you tell yourself? What would be the thing you go after? Would it be e-commerce? Would it be something else?
I would say like only 2 words. You know those 2 words?
No idea.
Buy Bitcoin.
But today, no. If you if younger Alex showed up today, right now, what would you tell him to do, knowing what you know now?
Oh man, I would tell him to I think it's like getting proximity to people that you feel can take your life from here to like fucking here. Like think about like they do the this like board yacht whatever, like the fucking NFTs, right? They're selling like every day they're selling like $200,000-$300,000 a pop. I think there is such a big like I think this is such a big kind of like you know, there's a lesson in it. You know what I mean? It's like that community will be like, I mean, it may not be visible as today, but that kind of like gap where it's like the barrier to entry to those like top communities will be even higher. Like, and you know what I mean? It will be like, there's all of the like metaverse and stuff like that. It will be like, kind of like all of the other people. And then there is like selected few. But I mean, no, it's like, no, I think I'm overcomplicating. I think I would say myself is like, okay, so how do you figure out, like, I would say, like, figure out the black hat, how to run black hat offers on Facebook. This is what it 1 in 15, man, golden time. Now, seriously, I worked for a guy who would like, I worked for a guy, and that's also like another one of those. I think this is like, yeah, so many lessons now. I never think about it. I just like, I just flow. But I worked for a guy. They were like running like crazy volume on these like black hat offers, like on Facebook. Just accounts getting shut down, boom, 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 just like farming. They made a fortune, man. They made a fortune then. 2015, 2016. They have made a fortune. 2017, it was a good like crypto like first like run. They've like multiplied their money. Now they're like set for life. You know what I mean? Like,
wow, man.
But I think right now is the time, man. I think right now is a good time. Like I think we're into like whatever we think right now, like it's kind of always like all of this like, yeah, I think give it like 2-3 years, 5 years, it will be like, I think Bitcoin would probably be like $1 million. Maybe not, I don't know.
Does making more money motivate you right now, or is it something else?
I like money still, but like I think I like challenges, and I like people, man. I like good people that like big thinkers. So then like, I mean, they just expand your horizon, and you think like, oh shit, I don't have problems in my life. Or like, oh, I thought I'm thinking big. Oh shit, I'm not thinking big at all. And I think that's probably one of the best, like, yeah, again, I think that's one of the best like things you can do to yourself to kind of like accelerate your growth. You can read the book, you can learn something, but it won't be as profound as like, for example, actually seeing someone in person or like having access to someone. I think those things are such a
The relationships.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I think that's it. Like that's it. Like I mean, you like it's there was a good like I think it was like the guy, the Mr. Beast guy, who's like YouTuber, big YouTuber, biggest probably. And so he said like he was on a call with like Gary Vee and like some other guys, and he said that and they were talking about the CryptoPunks and like these other things, other like NFTs and stuff. It's in April. And he said like he was on a call, and after that call, he decided to buy like, 10 or something or dozens of CryptoPunks. And so he made like what, like $6 million profit just on that, because like, I mean, they just like is going up. And like,
wow,
that's one insight from the right type of like community, right? I think it's just like
how does someone get in these circles and make these kinds of friends? Is it masterminds? Like, what have you found to be?
Some you can pay, some you can just pay. I think paying like is probably the easiest way. And if not, I mean, like if I were starting out, like again, I would like the people that I just kind of like. Some people I learn a lot from, like, but some people I could have learned like a lot more, and trying to understand things, right? Like if you understand why certain things are certain things and why they kind of like work in the way they work, then I mean you could find some like amazing opportunities.
If you got to start an e-commerce today, what would you do? And you didn't have a ton of capital, so like enough to get dropshipping going. What would you do short term and long term?
Like short term, I would probably like. That's a good point. That's a good question. Short term, I would probably like. I'll probably, yeah, I would do like probably health and beauty. If I would know everything I know now, like I would try to, I would try to accumulate that initial, like at least, $100,000 in capital. And for that, I think I would probably launch like an information product or something like this. I think that's probably one of the fastest ways. That's faster than drop shipping, or actually working for someone, which could be a longer way, but it could give you the skill set that you could leverage, right? Like probably the same what I did, but identifying the niche that I was going after, like becoming like a media buyer, for example, for someone, and just seeing the things from inside, seeing how business functions and asking a lot of questions how the business functions. And I would probably go into like, um, yeah, I would try to find the business that I want to work for, and I would go and work for them. Like, I think that's a very good way to learn and get paid. Like, because if I'm thinking from the perspective, like I have to feed my family, I have to still kind of like go through that initial stage of like accumulation of capital while still feeding my family. If I would be by myself, I mean, I don't need much. But for family, I mean, I'd have to like give them some security. So, um, yeah, man, I think that's what I would do.
What would be your long-term play? And would you be focused on that while you were working on getting that capital? Or would the capital be the sole focus in the short term? And
Yeah,
then
for
and
sure,
then you would
100%.
move.
I mean, at least for me, maybe that was stupid, right? Maybe I was too short term focused on things that make money instead of like. But I mean, you can do otherwise. I mean, it's like it's kind of. I think it's good to talk about like in retrospect. Oh, I should have done this. Should have done this. Fuck me. I mean, you do what you need to do. Like it's like, um, it's hard, man. Like, you know what I mean? It's like you do like. So everyone is smart, like everyone is smart. Like when they look, oh, I should. I think like I probably would have done many things the way I have done them. Like I would try to like I maybe like would have avoided like some of the mistakes, but okay, maybe I would cut like another like one or 2 years from my like progress. I mean, that's probably what would happen. Um, a lot of the things, I mean, probably took me like 5 years. I think that's such a big point for everyone is like the growing the self-esteem. Because if you know if you have like high self-esteem, if you're confident in like in your ability to figure shit out, which took me like years to kind of like build back. Like I'm from this like Soviet like environment where like you're getting like suppressed if you're talking too much, you shut the fuck up, you know? It's like very like and and that kind of like
It shapes
because
you.
like yeah, exactly right, like it's kind of like it makes you like just one piece, whatever, like you just like one, like there's like millions of people and you're just like one gray like particle in this like ecosystem. You're not important, your opinion doesn't fucking matter, and like shut the fuck up and sit and like don't talk,
It
you
impacts
know.
how you show up in business, your relationships,
For
everything.
sure, man. I mean,
Right.
for me, getting like, I mean, even now, like, as like in our interview process for the positions we hire in our company, we ask people to shoot like a long video, and people say like, "Oh, I don't want to shoot like a long video. I'm like too shy on camera, or whatever." People respond with this actually, like, I asking you for 1 fucking minute. So, and then now I see that person has like very low self-esteem. For me, like, so we're going live now. I don't give a fuck. Hello, everyone. But like, man, like 3 4 years ago, I mean, I would sweat and I would like stress and I would be in such a deep like emotional fucking hole, like from like going live, because I would be scared what people would say in comments, right? People would say something and I would, fuck, they said that. And And I think that is such a big one, like building on that. I think that's the biggest one. I think that's even bigger than like anything else. I think there's like pyramids, right? Like, so the foundation is high self-esteem. Have that, like you can build on this, like whatever. Fuck, you need skill set, fuck it. You figure it out. You need, but then like, I guess investing in yourself, like investing in like masterminds or like being community, I guess that's also part of the self-esteem. Because it's not like, I mean, obviously there's part of the trust, but also, do you believe in yourself to figure it out, to make it work for yourself?
I think that's a misconception for a lot of programs, groups, masterminds, courses. Like, no one's going to fix it for you. You got to,
no shit.
You might get tools, resources, connections, introductions, but it doesn't make things happen. And I've been like, I don't know if I told you, like I've owned a gym for almost 9 years. I've been through multiple masterminds. Alex Fedotoff, that guy's a beast, by the way.
Oh yeah.
So just, I've been in multiple programs, even in the e-commerce side.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen a lot of people that just get negative. They blame, they say they get the results and it's everything but them. And sometimes the program's not the greatest, right? But in all reality, it comes down to us. Like, that's it.
For sure, man. Yeah. And it's like, for me, I was always like, like even in the assess, okay, so how can someone do like fucking $1.5 million per month and someone can do like only like 50, like giving the same resources? And I'm like, gee. But I mean, I think that's just part of life. I think getting to those like higher numbers brings like higher level of problems. That's inevitable. And what happens with a lot of people is like, I think they have this like this experiment with I think it was lion or something, like small lion, when they put like I think they give it like a shock, right? Like they put like a kind of like a borders, right? Like they put the kind of like the thing where he can't kind of like go beyond it.
Mm.
And he tries to go beyond it, and then like it's like electrical fucking shock, like, so like, and then it does it like for like 20, 30 fucking times, 50, whatever. And then it's like, just, he doesn't even fucking go there. And the same with like bank accounts, man, like I've had moments like when like I had bank account and like I wouldn't advertise for half a year.
It crushes you sometimes, right?
Right.
We can all relate to
it. I had this, right? I had this like business manager, and I love this business manager, and it's so good, and like I take care of it, and like everything's so good. One out of a sudden like bans you, and it's like, and it's stupid, right? The more I leave, the more like I think that the biggest thing I figure out is like, if there's a problem, there's a solution. You just ask. Do you know? Who do you know who can help with this? Who do you know who can help with this? I think that a lot of the times I'm reaching out to like.
That's not taught in school though that way of thinking.
Yeah, man. I mean, in school they teach you some like things that like don't have like real fucking application in the world, right? Like everything you need to know probably can be taught like in like 6-12 months program, kind of like real life preparation shit, like whatever, like communication skills, like sales skills, like marketing skills, like sell yourself skills, like, and like, I mean, those things that like really like you can apply, like reaching out, establishing like, relationship, maintaining the relationships, like those things. Yeah. It's like self-taught and like, and fuck, man. Yeah. Like, I mean, school system is so fucked up. It's so fucked up.
What's your superpower, man? Like what, I know we can develop in certain ways, right? Like I didn't wake up 10 years ago good at conversion rate optimization, understanding funnels and drop off points and how to be good at data. I suck at math. I'm terrible, but I've learned out of necessity. I think I'm actually naturally better at doing this. Just having good conversations with interesting people. What would you say is your superpower or your natural skill sets, and what are the things you've developed and honed in on out of necessity or desire?
Very good question, man. Where do you take these questions? Do you have a prepared list of questions?
No.
Shit, man, you're fucking good at it. You're fucking good at it. Like, shit. Like, you should you should interview people all the time. I don't know. I think I'm good at like connecting people, like and finding. I'm not very good at like hands-on stuff. I was managing $500,000 per month in ad spend myself, but I wouldn't. I'm not the best at it. You know what I mean? And like, it's not something that I want to. Oh, I want to be the best media buyer. My media buyers, they say, I want to be the best media buyers. That's awesome, for them, because that's what they want to do. For me, like, I think, I want to be like, just like, my strong thing is like, I think like talking to people and like establishing relationships and connecting people. I figure out like that's probably the biggest thing that I can contribute to our businesses, because like, for example, it's not actually doing shit. It's I don't know if you have seen this, like I was reading in one of the books, it was so good, kind of like the illustration. There are like different levels, like how like different like levels of like kind of like how the money is made, right? So the lowest level of things is actually getting stuff done, right? So for example, if we projected, like, let's say it's like actually managing Facebook ads, right? Like, that's the lowest kind of like value thing, because I mean, you can only manage so much of them. You can only have so much time to do it. You're not leveraging other people's time, right? So that's why I don't manage my ads like more than a year, like probably 1.5 years. Like, I don't manage. I don't touch. I don't know. I know how the dashboard looks like. I look at it sometimes, but like I don't actually do it. Second is when it's kind of like more managerial, right? That has a higher leverage. So when you, for example, train your media buyers, train the skills that you have acquired to your media buyers so they can replicate it. Um, so that's like the second level. The third one is the communication, right? So when you talk to someone, you're establishing relationships, you're finding about some good people, you're bringing in. Okay, so in this particular case, it would be okay, talking to media buyer, like someone with a great potential, and convincing them to work for your company, right? That's communication. Or like, for example, even like personal branding. Like, I mean, some people would want to kind of like work for you because they like you. Maybe they watch your videos, they want to join your team. We had plenty of people joining our team because they like my face. I don't know why. I mean, shit. Like, no, I mean, like, we joined like from ESF, man. We've hired like 6, 7 people as of now, and there's like a few more in the pipeline. Amazing people, like
some of the
top-notch
best
people.
They're some of the best
Yeah, like,
client team
yeah,
members
they
you ever have.
yeah, exactly, right? Because they have the hands-on experience. They're entrepreneurial. They're like crazy. They invest in themselves. Like, I mean, what else? As long as it's kind of they fit the culture and everything. I mean, we give them great opportunity as well. And so, like, that's the third one, the communication, right? I have Dayu here. I don't know if Dayu is watching. Dayu is like, he has a group on Facebook as well. It's called Ecom Ops.
He was in my this group live like 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Oh,
It's
really?
awesome. Yeah.
Really? Yeah. But Dayu, if you're watching this, come on in, my man. So he's there. He's waiting. And so like, yeah. So that's there. That's communication, right? So we're talking with Dayu. We're trying to streamline some of, get some of our projects with him link as well. And so like that's communication. And then the fourth one is the idea, right? So if you figure out the way of like this strategy, right? Like kind of like the moment, let's say you figure out like, okay, we want to go like in this niche because there is like amazing opportunity here, right? This is the moment, if you look in like retrospect, this is the moment where that has like the highest leverage, right? That will have made you like a lot of money, the most, right? Because everything starts from that idea. So that's the highest. So that's why dedicating some time to actually think like on a daily basis is crucial. Like giving yourself some like free space. Like for me, I like to have it in the morning and just like think and like not kind of like, like turning off everything and just think and like, getting myself in the flow and like, those type of things. So those are like 4 levels. So one is like doing stuff yourself. Second is more like managing, getting other people to do stuff. Third one is the communication, like selling, communicating your ideas, expressing them, getting people on board, talking to other people, selling your ideas to like audiences and stuff like that. And fourth one is the actual idea, the higher level, like kind of like stuff, right? The moment you decide, for example, okay, so you've been in like that moment, let's say you've been in Europe, let's say let's say you're selling in Europe, the moment you decide like, and fully kind of like, and if you have a team, if you convince your team, okay, so this is the idea, and we go in this direction because we go, let's say, from European market to US market, or we go in this direction, this is the brand that we're building. That moment is like what makes everything else happen. What makes the job actually being done, what kind of like impacts other like levels of work. I don't know if this makes sense.
Where do you enjoy spending most of your time? But where do you need to be the most right now in this moment?
That's a good point. I mean, I'm still on the second level a lot. I'm not as I'm just like, I just refuse to be on the first level. I just refuse to be like, I need to do something. Okay, who can do it? Like, I can explain someone who to do it. Like, I don't want to do shit. I'll find a guy who will do it, right? I'll communicate. And I mean, I might need to be a manager. There's no one else to manage that person, but I don't want to actually do it.
Mm.
So that's what I'm trying. That's ideal world. Sometimes you just gotta like do stuff, right? I mean, that's like idealistic kind of like.
What are you working on now? And like, what are the long-term or future things you guys are moving towards?
So yeah, for now, so we work on the acquisitions, right? Like with several companies, so we're investing in several companies. Those are clients actually from ESS. So we're investing in their businesses, also helping them with some expertise to make their businesses more like streamlined and scale them up. So that's one. And then the other thing that we are working on is, I mean, so it's like the acquisition part, and the other part is our own brands, which is the apparel space. Think like also looking for like angles and kind of like working on those, which will take some time to kind of like execute. Like running a brand is harder than I thought. Like with inventory and stuff, we had like big like inventory like packages that like returned because we have the 3PL in the United States. So we got like DHL just fucked up completely, and so yeah, growing that part, and then we have some projects in kind of like crypto, like NFT space, which I mean, I would prefer to be in those like full time, but I mean, the business needs to function, and so I'm still needed on other aspects of it. Because that is so exciting. I don't know, like only now I just like, oh man, it's so kind of like new and exciting and like
anything can happen. Like, anything could happen. Shit we can't even think of right now.
Yeah.
Right. Things we can't even imagine with our brain. Like 20 people talked about Bitcoin going to big numbers, but March 20th, 2020, no one was going to think like Bitcoin was going to be 60K in 12 months. No one. A few crazy people that made a lot of money did, but
oh yeah. And I think, and I would like, yeah.
What do you believe as being the leader of ESS? What do you believe are the main benefits? Like who is it for, and why should they join? Like what should they come to your program expecting to get from? That's going to be different for everyone, but just generally speaking?
I don't think it's like for everyone, man. First of all, like, and we'll make it even more like exclusive. Like, it's for like top 1% of people. Like, we'll raise the bar. Like, you'll have to show like that you're doing like specific numbers just to be in ESS. Like, because this will be the community for like top people, you know, like even higher than now. Like, that's where it goes. Right now, I mean, if you do like $50,000, $100,000 at least, you have some experience, you know, we can help you to scale it. You know, you can join, we can help you to scale it. But I'm looking at it like we'll be very selective who we allow in, like, because that's such a crucial, like, you know, I see it as a very like powerful community that can like just like navigate, like kind of like move certain things. Like the whole community like does something, right? Like we do certain projects together, then it can make like a lot of damage. So that will come down to which the things that we will have in the future. We'll have a fund to be like private equity firm with like, you know, people who are in the community, they'll be able to invest, and we invest in businesses and we scale them. Like a big like e-commerce, probably like metaverse, like something related to that, like portfolio, something kind of I think in the middle of two worlds. With also like digital aspect, like in media, because I think a lot of businesses they, you know, if you think about the most successful businesses, they like Peloton, for example, right? Like a lot of people sell like courses, right? A lot of people sell gadgets. Peloton sells the gadget and they sell the media, right? So that media, and probably like if they're smart, they'll go into metaverse, they'll go into fucking like holograms,
VR on a
right?
bike,
like,
right?
yeah, where it's like
For sure.
you know, the trainer is like literally in your room here, and like, and you're just like repeating his moves, like something like that. So, yeah, it looks, I don't know, man. Like there's so many different. At this point, I have like more ideas and like I have time to execute on, or we have like human power, you know.
Yeah.
You know how it is, right? Like when you have like so many, like, oh geez, we can do this and we can do this. Of course we can, but like who'll actually do that? You know, who will manage, who will supervise, who will make sure that that gets done and gets done well? Like
the hardest part.
Mm-hmm. I think natural, like I think naturally, like it is smart, and I think the same applies for like, let's say someone's drop shipping, right? Like the smart thing to do like would be like accumulating the capital, accumulate the war chest, right? And now like how you can either like if you can reinvest in that business so you can get like return on the capital, you can expand it faster, or just finding the better business model, right? Like, so, you know, the same, you know, we're talking about like, let's say physical products and then let's say like digital products. Like, why not have those? Why not sell like to your like customers that sell like physical? Why not sell them like courses and stuff? Why it has to be two different fucking things? You're talking about like Alex Fedotoff guy, like, you know, it's like there is also probably in their community like Lady Boss, you know, this business, like they have like supplements, they have like information products, they have like courses, they have like physical products, they have apparel. Why it has to be like one business? Why it has to be like one, like, so thinking kind of like, yeah, from that perspective. And oftentimes this is where like, this may be like the only one thing that you have to fucking do. Like, let's say someone has like $1 million, like $1 million a year business. If it's a good brand, like, I mean, good customer experience stuff, maybe that's the only fucking thing they need to do. Just expanding those fucking SKUs, like adding these more products that they can cross-sell, like the same customer, like growing that like loyalty, adding some supplements or adding some kind of like consumables to it. That might be like the only one thing that they need to do. Yeah, man. I don't know. I have so many ideas. Like my brain sometimes functions like faster than like I just process so much stuff, and like it's sometimes I'm not catching up with my own like with my own brain. It's like, it's just like so fast. Like, I don't know. I
But
stopped eating sugar. I stopped eating sugar, by the way. That's a great tip for everyone. It's like, I stopped eating sugar, and fuck, man, you're like, I don't know, you eating a lot of sugar?
not so much.
No,
I try to limit it.
no.
Yeah.
I completely caught it, like completely, like not at all.
You're like keto almost, like not even carbs really,
Um,
or like clean
I mean,
carbs, like grains and
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, clean, and like, I don't know. I think kind of like, oftentimes we're like, a lot of entrepreneurs, I think they're functioning this like brain fog, there's like just eating whatever, and like you're in the brain fog, but you don't even realize you're in brain fog. You don't even realize that your brain can function a lot more.
You know what helps me? Jiu-jitsu. One of the
Wow.
best life decisions I've made ever. It
Wow, man.
makes me feel amazing. The energy. I do it midday every day. So I have my morning half of work and then train for 2 hours. I come back and I'm here doing this till 7 or whatever time. And
here's what we do, man. Here's what we do. We have a guy on our team. His name is Dan. He's also into jiu-jitsu. So next time you come to Miami, we do bets.
You're gonna come with us, right?
No, I'm not. Man, I'm not like, I don't. I'm yeah. I'm old and big and like, yeah. But my media buyer is like 6.3. He's like, his muscles, like, it's his, wow, his name is Mark. He's really big guy. And so like, next time you come in, like, we'll do and we do bets, right? Like,
in the office.
yeah, we'll do that here, and like, it'll be fun, man. Come over.
It's awesome, man. What do you have? I always like to ask, do you want to finish with a quote or just a big idea you want to share with people?
I think one big idea I had, it's like, most of the times, like, this is what you have signed up for. So like, you're facing some shit in your business, whatever, right? Or you didn't get like enough sleep because you're working like too hard, or like whatever challenges you're facing, or like bad like team member, or like not enough time. Most of the times, like, this is what you have signed up for.
It's what you chose, right?
Yeah, this is like the choice, right? And you always have another choice. It's like, you're taking the whatever, that like red pill and blue pill, right? You've chosen whatever the fucking pill is, entrepreneurship pill, and you took it. Like, no one fucking forced you to. You can always like, you can come back and take the red fucking one if you want to.
Love that.
I'm committed. I figured out that like a few days ago, man. I was like, I had this like, bad state, It's like, I'm not happy about this thing and about this thing, and I'm not happy about this thing, and I'm frustrated because of this, and this project is not going as fast as I thought it would. And then I just realized, man, it's like, fuck, this is what I sign up for. You sign up for a fucking challenge. Like, you want no challenge? Like, I mean,
go get a job, right?
Yep.
A simple, easy job. Live an average life. Nothing wrong with it. I know a lot of people that are super happy, and that's what they should do.
Yeah.
And that's, I don't know about you, man, but when I first got into business for myself, I thought everyone was crazy because they weren't an entrepreneur. And then after like a year or two, I was like, okay, now I really get why I shouldn't encourage every person I talk to do this too. Because there's a lot of days, there's probably more bad days than good days sometimes. Right.
Huh. That's a good point. Man, tell me this. Did you have good like role models for entrepreneurship?
My best friend, who actually just sold me a house, he does real estate now. He went to college with me, and his stepdad came from Korea years ago, was the first one in Northern Virginia outside of DC here to bring martial arts to the area. He grew to probably 10 schools. So all those years growing up my friend watched that and learned that. He worked in the schools. And when he was graduating, I watched like that year, he was a year older than me. I watched him having all this fun, doing all this marketing. I don't know if you like Lloyd Irvin. He did Lloyd Irvin's Mastermind. And so I saw him doing all this crazy marketing stuff. I was like, oh, that's so interesting. I want to do that. I took a job and I quit it. I was like, I'm just going to go do something fun like this. And he actually mentored me. He's my friend. He never asked for $1 from me. I call him up. Like I was afraid to ask for like a $49 a month membership to my boot camp, like just a little stupid shit like that. Mm-hmm. And he's to this day, he's been one of my most trusted and what's up, Dayu? What's up, man? Just gonna get it on speaker, I think.
Oh,
there you are.
Yeah, I have Dayu here, man.
What's up, man?
Man, how's it going?
What's going on? How's the warm weather?
Well, he has Stanford, Harvard, like
Stanford and Wharton.
Seriously, you're not kidding.
No, I'm not kidding about that.
Yeah, man.
Are we live somewhere?
He's the most educated of all of us, I guess, right? John, are you Harvard too?
I am far from Harvard, very far from Harvard.
Man, like, I think having those we were talking about like role models and stuff, like, I think like what helps is like, if you like growing up have like role models like of entrepreneurial kind of like people.
It's hard to find sometimes.
Yeah, I know, man.
Unless you land in it.
Yeah, for me, like it was like in my country, like the entrepreneurs are really like they're like arrogant, they're like disrespectful, to everyone. They're like, it's not the best like role model. So I guess part of the thing in me, like I just didn't want to be that person, and that was like internally also like, I don't want to be that like rich like person who is like just not a good person, And then I think that's fucking it. I think that's what was my belief was. And then we went to the Monaco. In Monaco, like you realize all these people like expensive fucking cars, You've been to Monaco this year, no? No, you've been to Europe.
Yeah, I've been to Europe, but not Monaco.
Oh, okay. So in Monaco, they have like these fucking expensive, like everyone is like either like Ferrari, like Rolls Royce, like the most expensive cars, like yachts, like so rich people, like tremendously fucking rich people.
Oh, it's like part of China too, as well. Like parts of Beijing are like that as well.
Yeah.
It's like supercars everywhere. Yeah.
Wow. And so like, but in Monaco, like what you find is like people so like calm and like respectful, and they're like hello. And for me, that was like shit. I mean, they're not like swearing like all the time.
You don't need to be an asshole, apparently.
You're not like me, right? Like I'm like, but it's like kind of like just bad people, like screaming at others and like you know what I mean? With no reason, like, and so like that was like chick mindset shit. So I guess again it comes down to the like environment, like and like just getting exposure to certain things,
especially when we're young. When we're young, like we're all around the same age. I think we can understand this. If we only knew what we knew now. Like,
he's 33. How old are you?
33.
Oh, okay, cool. You're like Jesus.
Basically.
Jesus. I'm between like the Jesus. I'm like 31, man. 31. Man, I feel myself like in our community. I feel myself like an old guy. Like I mean, everyone's like 20.
They're all like, 21 making 10 times the amount of money we made like when we were 25.
Yeah, these are like they're smart and
Kendall Shaw.
Oh really?
Yeah. I just met up with him. He's 21.
He's 21. Shit.
Based on your reaction, I'm assuming he's crushing it.
He's basically
he's based in Miami. He's in Midtown.
Shit, I had a conversation with him like a few days ago. He's running the agency. Is that the guy running the agency? He's running the
Yeah,
agency.
he's running like 4 businesses. He has this he has an interesting model now, like Shopify automation. It's kind of like FBA automation, but then Shopify automation.
Oh, really?
And yeah, we're talking about working together.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's an interesting model. Getting investors to, they put in money and they share the profits with the stores.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty interesting. Nice.
Nice.
He's doing well.
Yeah.
Doing well.
What?
But he has like 3 other businesses. Like he has a scale code agency. Yeah, and I don't know the other 2 are, but he's doing well. 21. I shouldn't have gone to Stanford.
Yeah. Why do we go to college?
And yeah, everything like backwards like looks so easy and so like obvious, right? Like if you look like just.
Yeah, I'm actually seeing Gabriel this weekend.
Oh, really?
Next week.
Here in Miami?
No, he's in Vancouver.
Oh, you flying to
Vancouver? He's like, I forget how old he is. It's probably 24, 25, something like that.
Gabriel Saint Germain, remember the guy?
Yeah.
He's like, he educated so many people about dropshipping. Like, I still see kind of like people like copying his stores, like 1-to-1. Like, he has like one product stores, like color scheme, those like light blue. It's like,
Yeah.
And like I see, how much volume do they like? People doing still like 7 figures with those stores. Educated so many people. Good guy, man.
Well, you got a lot of those stories, man. A lot of them from your program now.
Oh yeah. So many like. But yeah, we'll be like investing in our clients, like I think that's just like good, investing, like partnering up with them. I think that's a good model, man. Like seeing like very like talented people. I have this like it's like when you see like when Dr. Dre was like seen Eminem, like seen that talent in him, like when Eminem wasn't like seeing him, by himself. You know what I mean? Like seeing talent in people. I think that's such a, like for entrepreneurs, I think that's such a good skill, like seeing talent in people, like different, like, okay, so this guy's good with this. Like this guy, like Philippine guy, like you told me, like, you know what I mean? The one that you showed me.
The inside guy.
Like,
a lot of it's attitude. Just attitude, willing to do stuff. Like that's not common with most people. A lot of people don't take initiative, and
that's not typical. From my experience, at least, that's not typical Filipino kind of like mindsets, right? A lot of them are just like you have to tell them exactly what needs to be done, and they don't like to be like very like proactive. At least that was my experience. Maybe it was a culture in Philippines. They can do stuff very well if they explain, kind of like if they understand the process. What's your experience with Philippines?
Are we live, by the way, on a group?
Yeah.
We're live on a group and a future YouTube video.
Is that like racist? Is that like you kind of like classifying? You can talk shit about Ukrainians like all the way. You can. It's just the stereotypes, man. I don't know. You have some experience, and then it shapes your kind of like perspective. But fuck it. It's real. Like it's any nation, man. Like finding people that are like proactive, like that are doing stuff. You have to go. No. Finding people that are like proactive, that just like kind of like not afraid to do something kind of like out of the box. It's very rare. Like it's like 10% of people.
It's risky.
Most people don't want the responsibility of a decision.
Yeah. They don't want to do something wrong, and then like again, it comes down to the self-esteem, right? Like what we've covered, like is if there's no like self-esteem, like person is like afraid to like reach out because they're afraid to be rejected or like afraid to make a mistake. It's very like
it's typical.
It's very hard. It's like there always needs to be like in that case there have to be like always like someone who's just like overseeing and like micromanage and like kind of like pushing them. That it won't be like good kind of like leader.
Yeah. Well, fellas, I just
Yes.
want to say thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate both you. And as always, man, thank you for your time. How can I'll link back to whatever you want me to with this YouTube video. How can they find you in the meantime if they're just listening live or just watching it on YouTube?
How they can find me? I'm in Brickell, so do you need a specific address?
A specific, your home address is preferred.
So anyway, I mean, yeah, you can go here and like, so yeah, it's Alex Fedotoff. It's double F at the end. And like, just Google it. And like, I think for most of the things in life, the easiest thing is just to Google it. Like, no, seriously, if someone wants to find me, if someone has like, let's say I want to find a person who's like very simple, like example, case study, right? Like I want to find who's like is an interview. Let's say like, who's this guy like doing the interview, right? Okay, cool. So if it's done through Zoom, like Zoom is very clever in terms of like putting these names here. I just take the fucking name and I Google it. And then I find that person on like Facebook and LinkedIn and I Google and if I find their email and I find a way to get in touch with them.
Most people don't have that initiative. We know this, right?
Oh man, don't tell me. Cool, man.
All right, guys. And Dayu, check out our video. If you're seeing this on YouTube, just check back 3 videos. You'll see him, or you'll be coming up if you're not up already. And have a great night, guys. Appreciate both of you.
Thank you, John, so much for hosting.
No worries, man. Thanks for joining.
Thank you. Bye-bye.